Welcome back to part 2. The subject here is the Moulin de la Galette, and it's a painting by Robert Ricart, and it's done on the spot with an easel. Of course, as you can see, it's an oil painting, and it's done from A to Z. It's been filmed from A to Z. Very few people will let you see that. Very few artists will let you see their trade secrets, so all I can say is thank you, Robert. There is less dialogue here with the artist because there's a pneumatic drill that comes into play. To French viewers, sorry, I would like to try to speak more in French, but I'm not fluent and it's very difficult for me, so sometimes it has to be in English. I've done my best, otherwise it would just take an eternity. It's a real privilege to be able to see this from A to Z because, generally speaking, there are very few artists who are capable of doing this now, and there are very few artists who will allow you to film them because they don't want their mistakes shown. And Robert was very cool about the whole damn thing and not at all worried. And this is why this is a very, very interesting video. You see changes in it, you see imagination coming into it. It's not a copy, it's an impression, and it harks back to the days of the Impressionists, and that's why it's so wonderful. And enjoy it, enjoy the color, enjoy the freedom, enjoy the fact that the artist, in spite of me shoving my camera up his nose, is so cool about the whole thing. I mean, it's wonderful. There are some drop frames. This is a thing I filmed a long time ago, and the hard disk crashed, and we got it back, but there are some jerky movements you'll see. That's because there have been some drop frames and some loss of pixels, and I've had to kind of jigsaw puzzle it together as best I can. Anyway, enjoy. It's still a good video, and try to learn. It's a lot to learn from here. As Robert explained at the beginning, he is starting with diluted paint, and now he's beginning to put some really heavy stuff in there. I mean, you can see some of this is quite heavy, it's impasto stuff. It's quite, there's this thick paint going in, but the rule is always, when you're working with oil paint, you start thin and finish thick. And it's beginning to really take shape now. It's fantastic. And I just want to say now, look at this. Wow. Boom. He's getting tonal values here now. Look at the windmill on the right, the real windmill, and he's got absolutely the tonal values right. You've got to get tonal values right, and this holds the whole painting together. Now, this becoming quite a really difficult area because he's trying to draw the arms of the windmill, and you could have a nervous breakdown if you try to do this photographically. But I mean, just look how he just, with so much ease, just gets the impression right, and it just takes a few strokes and it's done, and you don't need more than that. It's a painting, and you just need to suggest what is there, and our eyes, the observer's eyes, will fill in the rest. That's just the magic of it. Brilliant. Extraordinaire, la vitesse extraordinaire.
Il faut aller vite.
Ça prend forme déjà, mais c'est incroyable.
Il faut aller vite. Si tu vas pas vite, tu sais, t'es foutu.
Je suis convaincu aussi qu'à une certaine vitesse, on garde la vitalité de le tableau.
Voilà.
Sinon,
Parce que sinon
il va mourir le tour.
bien sûr.
What I find so interesting here is that Robert keeps going back to certain areas. He'll use a big brush, wipe that area out with the sky, and then he'll go back and redefine. Now he's redefining the tree. He's done that already, but it's like you lose it a little bit, you get it back again, and then you try to look big, and then you lose it, and then you pull it together again. And of course at the end, the final touches, you're really looking to pull it together, but it's a loose and fine, and there's no fear. You shouldn't fear. It's a progression. So don't be afraid when you put a big brush, you lose a little bit. You always get it back. It's there. It's the metamorphosis of the process. For example, he started the drawing, you had windows all over the place when he started drawing. On the left-hand side that you saw, it's just gone. But now they're gone. But you'll see at the end of the thing, he puts the windows back in again. So it's a guideline. You put guidelines in, and then you use them, and then you take them out, and you put them back, and you put the details back in. The details come and go. And but if you get stuck with details from the beginning, you're cooked. You can't paint if you're obsessed with details right from the beginning. There has to be some freedom.
Mais bon. Tu vois, là, je vais inventer un truc parce que je trouve qu'il manque quelque chose là, tu vois.
Oui.
J'ai envie de faire une table comme ça.
Petite terrasse.
Oui, oui. On est des metteurs en scène.
Oui, non mais... On est les metteurs en scène. That means we are movie makers. I mean, this is my stage set, and I'm going to do what I want with it. But this bit takes my breath away because in the middle of an oil painting, he decides there's something he doesn't like. He wants to put a table and chair there, and some people, a cafe scene. This is actually, it fits with the scene because the Moulin de Galette is now a restaurant. Actually, that's the entrance to the restaurant you're seeing. It's quite normal to have tables and chairs outside there. It's actually not a windmill. It's a restaurant. So it fits. But the insanity of it is this guy's got the sheer balls to do this in the middle of an oil painting while I'm filming it. I mean, it could go horribly wrong, but it doesn't. It works great. And so there you go. I mean, it's painting pictures. It's making movies. It's fun. Enjoy it always. Always enjoy your painting, and don't let any kind of inhibition creep in. This guy can do it. You can do it. Maybe let me quantify that, because maybe not. Maybe you can't do it. But this is a pretty good teacher, pretty good role model. How the freedom with which he paints and the way that he just paints with no fear, is prepared to change things. So I think that is something to learn from this artist, and I really admire him for this. He just paints for pleasure, and he's so cool, man. I mean, so cool, unbelievable. He's no stress about this at all. Now he's going back to this central figure, and he will repeatedly go back to this figure, like the car. There are certain areas that he's not satisfied with it, but he returns to it, and he gets it right at the end. This is important. This is a kind of focal point here. And again, back to these central figures. Wow, look at that. Here's a face. I mean, where did that come from? I didn't see that coming. Now that's really becoming quite defined now. That group of people. There's three people there. Oh, wow. I mean, wow. Now this doesn't maybe look like much, but this is so important, because here he's going to create some shadows, and look how suddenly from nothing this pavement becomes three-dimensional, because he actually throws shadows from that car, and he leaves a kind of gap, and suddenly it's all alive. You know, that pavement becomes three-dimensional, and he knows exactly what he's doing. Wow. Ouh, désolé.
Tu sais,
il faut que j'ajoute de la musique. Pour le montage, il va falloir de la
c'est
musique.
Paris, ça, tu sais, David.
Oui.
Paris, t'es jamais tout seul, t'as pas tout faire.
Oui, non, il faut faire avec.
Malgré le bruit de le marteau piqueur, Robert a resté complètement calme, complètement zen. Incroyable. just like to say that this is one of those videos where I was neither invited nor did I ask permission to do it. I was actually just walking down the Rouleur Peak, and I had a camera and I had a couple of batteries and I was equipped. Robert was, from the first moment, very positive about the idea, just me setting up my tripod, and he took the whole thing with so much, he was really cool about the whole thing, because a lot of people can freak out and say, hey, no, I don't want you there, please say, no, what is this for, etc. No, there's no problem. So I started filming, and I was very hesitant about asking questions, but he took even that in his stride, and the whole thing just went so smoothly. There was no problem. Now the reason for this is the guy's so cool. I mean, he's really not easily fazed. Even when the road workers came and they started making all that horrible noise, his reaction was just totally zen. It began to freak me out with all that noise. I said, this is going to ruin everything. I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to talk to them. They're getting aggressive. But he was like, oh, calm down, Dave. There's no problem. This is Paris. This is what happens. It's so rare that you see an artist working on plein air, outdoors, with an easel. They did this. The Impressionists started this in Montmartre, and it's so rare to see it now in 21st century. Someone standing on pavement doing it, and taking all the risk and all the hassle involved. It takes enormous guts. Above all, you have to know what you're doing. And this guy's a great painter. He knows what he's doing. Makes it look easy. And then when he's working on this area where he's imagining things, and I'm thinking, wow, he was creating something that's not there. Everything was fast. The only bit that was actually not fast was the areas which came from his imagination. Pigeons here, for example. But those people on the terrace came right out of his head. He said, oh, there's something missing here. And he was right. And he had the courage just to do that out of his imagination. Just want to say thanks to the guy. Visit his studio. His wife is a sculptress. They've got a lovely studio, very, very near to the Place de Tête. Get off at the Place Abbesse, and it's called Atelier 16 Rue Ricart. Check it out.